Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dave Thompson, your host here at Beyond Clean with Ace. We have a special treat for you. You may have heard about this. We are in the midst of the Rock Star Finalist voting for the 2021 Rock Star Custodian of the Year. It's an international award that we present every year. We're in our third year. And live on the air today, I have with me Kenneth Seybold. Now, Kenneth is going to talk to you a little bit, but he is going to introduce Ron Crowley. Now, they are at a middle school in Palm Coast, Florida. And so, you know what? Rather than you listen to me, Ron and Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much.
My name is Kenny Seybold, and I am proudly here with Mr. Ron Crowley, who's our site coordinator or head custodian at Buddy Taylor Middle School. And we are indeed so honored to have Ron receive this Academy of Cleaning Excellence Award. He's definitely a district, extremely proud of him. Ron has been with the district for 27 years. So I just kind of want to let him talk a little bit about himself before we get into some of the job descriptions. But the other neat thing about Ron is he's also a product of Flagler County Schools. So Ron, tell us about maybe from when you graduated and how you got into becoming a custodian here and the longevity of, 27 years. That's something.
Yes, sir. I'm from Bunnell, 10 minutes away from Palm Coast. We had two schools. We had an elementary school and a high school. Those were the only two schools we had in Flagler County. I graduated from FPC 1987, and I'm proud to be employed at Flagler County Schools, and I encourage anybody to work for Flagler County Schools.
So you graduated in 1987. What did you do immediately upon graduation?
I moved.
So you moved a little bit, and then you came back to the area. When did you move back to the area?
I graduated in 87. I moved 89 and came back in 90.
Okay. So certainly a lot of things. Palm Coast back then was probably a town of maybe 20,000, and we've kind of erupted to over 100,000, if more people here. So you've seen a lot of changes, just from two schools to what we have now. Can you just talk about what as when you became a custodian here, what position you started in and how you grew in this position to both become a lead and then, of course, are one of our site coordinators at Buddy Taylor Middle School? Maybe some of the schools you've also worked at, you could touch on that.
Well, I started at Buddy Taylor Middle School as a custodian, and I worked about 2 to 3 years. And I was told that I was a good employee, so they offered me the day lead position. And I was like, I don't know if I want to take the day lead position because I didn't know anything about it. They said, you'll be good at it. So I accepted it, and I became the day lead for about 5 years. And after that, the supervisor position, the coordinator position, which I am right now, came available. And they offered it to me. And I was like, no, I don't think I should take that position. But then I thought about it. I've been a custodian. I'm a day lead. Now it's time for me to just move up the next ladder. So I said, well, I'll take the position. I took the coordinator position with pride, with a smile on my face. And I was so excited and just so overwhelmed and just so full of joy. Next thing I remember, 27 years later, I'm still the coordinator at Buddy Taylor Middle School. Where did the time go? Where did the time go? I love my job. I'm just so excited and just happy to be here.
Yeah. So Ron, you came in. I've been here. I'm finishing up my 29th year, and you're right. Where does time go? I mean, it is incredible how quickly both of us have grown here in Flagler County. One of the things, Ron, that we're impressed with is the ownership that you have with Buddy Taylor Middle School. You've been there 27 years, and you passed that. You kind of use that term ownership with your staff. What does that mean to you and your staff, your other custodians, have ownership in Buddy Taylor Middle School?
Well, to be honest, can I be real honest?
Yes, sir.
I tell them this is my school like it's my home. This is my school. I own this school, so let's take pride in working I tell the kids the same thing. Let's take pride into your classroom, get a good education, and I just throw positive information as much as I can within the 8 hours I'm there.
Yeah. You talk about life lessons. I see you many times, and the administrators there comment on what an impact a custodian can have in a school and how you engage students. Can you talk a little bit of maybe in your 27 years? Some of these students now are, I don't know if you ever run into them, but they probably have their own families, and
yes.
Maybe we're both getting gray in the hair, so we might even have some of their kids here at our school. So how do you go about just sharing those life lessons with students?
A lot of kids, they come to me and say, Mr. Ron, my mom knows you, my dad knows you. And I said, no, they don't. And he said, yes. It was because there was kids with the Buddy Taylor years ago. My stepmom with the Buddy Taylor years ago. She knows you. And when I'm at the grocery store, they'll call me or they'll tap me on the shoulder and say, your name is Mr. Ron? You're Mr. Ron? And I'm like, yes, I went to your school. This is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, let me go to my school tomorrow and look at the yearbook and see who you are, because it's been so many years ago. You got a mustache, you got a beard. And he said, my kids go there. I went there years ago. Now my kids are going there. And I was like, wow.
Gentlemen, if I can, I would like to say, because Ron, you said they went to your school. I think that's so key to why we are doing this program. You know, it's a public school, but it's yet they ask you, is it your school? That's cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I take on. I mean, it's not my school, but I'm just so proud to work there for 27 years. It's just like a home away from home. So yes, I say my school.
It is, Ron, one of the things to have students come back to you, to have students walk up to you in the supermarket or out in the public, just to, right. You know, and a lot of times we don't remember them because it's been so many years. It's just a credit to you and how impactful you've been with students at Buddy Taylor. One of the things I wanted to touch on also, we've just recently, we're kind of still dealing with some COVID challenges, not as much, but can you talk about maybe the challenges when our students returned? You know, we were all in March of 2020. Mm-hmm. We went on spring break, and then we didn't come back until August. What challenges were presented to you and your staff at Buddy Taylor Middle School during that return of students, you know, with COVID?
We as a team, as a group, we knew we had to get the school in tip-top shape for the kids before the kids returned, and the faculty and staff. We had to get in tip-top shape, and we followed the directions, and we made sure that we followed the protocol, and we made sure that every inch of that school was clean, top to bottom, side to side, wall to wall.
Were there any things differently that we did? I know we had the Clorox 360 machine. Can you talk a little bit about how you initiated that cleaning protocols at Buddy Taylor?
Yes, we had the Clorox 360 machine, and we had to be trained on it because I didn't know anything about it. We had to be trained on it, and then we trained our staff on it, and then once we were trained on it, we went and cleaned the classrooms.
Yeah. Right now with the COVID, I think we're seeing a little less of absenteeism.
Yes.
Some of our staff, we had to deal with that. What about your nighttime and coordinating between your daytime and nighttime? I know you have Ken Smith, who's your yes. nighttime lead. How do those communications go with him in terms of what you do during the day and at night to institute, you know, your cleaning protocols?
We do clean every day. We do clean every day, but with the 360 disinfectant, we do that 3 times. So we do that 3 times a day, well, 3 times a week. And we get together as a group and we discuss how we want to do different areas of the school so we can spray different section of the school. So at the end of the week, the whole school will be clean and disinfected. Yeah,
you guys do a great job on that. The other thing that people might not know that you have to assist with, and you take a lead role in this, obviously, we down here in Florida, we deal with hurricanes. Knock on wood, we haven't had to deal with one for a while. But how does your role change when we are? And we at one time, Buddy Taylor, when we only had a fewer schools, was a shelter. So talk about how your role changed when Buddy Taylor became a hurricane shelter for people that had to evacuate from their homes to the school, and how you had to present the school and just those type of what the logistics of that day would look like.
We was told to go out and help everybody that needs help, and we went outside and waited for them to come to Buddy Taylor, and we asked them, do they need us to help them move anything out the vehicles into their special rooms for a couple of days. And it was exciting, and it was also scary because we had a hurricane coming up, but we had to make sure that we get everybody in there safe and sound and in nice and clean classrooms at Buddy Taylor.
Yeah, and so there's the setting up of the cots and certain classrooms, and then individuals with disabilities have a whole nother area. So you were part of getting that organized?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of people, but we still had to do our part to make sure everybody got there safe and sound.
Yeah, I want to switch back a little bit as we kind of got a few minutes left here to the culture at Buddy Taylor Middle School. You've been through a couple of principals there. Yeah. Why is it important for you to be part of that culture? What is rewarding to you, and why is that important to be part of the culture?
Part of the culture. The kids. The number one factor is the kids. I never knew they had so much love for Mr. Ron. Morning, noon, and night, Mr. Ron. They called Mr. Ron, Mr. Ron, Mr. Ron. And one day I just went to school and said, wow, I am important to the community. I am important to the kids. I am important to myself. I am important to administration. The kids respect me and they love me, and I got to be there. I got to make sure the school is clean for the kids and everyone else.
What would you say to a student, Mr. Ron, who is in high school? They may be in their senior year. They maybe struggled academically. They're not interested in going to college. It's just not something for them. But from a school to career, how would you recommend a custodial profession for that person, and why?
Yes, I would recommend them because I didn't have a positive role model in my life years ago, and I'm going to try my best to influence every positive information that I can give anybody outside of the school system or inside the school system. I just have to. It's just my job. It's just my duty. I feel like if I don't give them positive advice, I'm going to let them down. I just have to do that.
And then the last question I have for you, Ron, I don't know if Dave's going to want to jump in here after this, but we both look at each other. We've had long careers, wonderful careers here in Flagler County schools, and everyone wants to kind of be remembered. And as we, whatever years we have left, when you do leave Buddy Taylor Middle School and you put those keys on your principal's desk, how would you hope you're remembered at that point?
I want to be remembered as a kind-hearted, genuine, humble, outgoing, dedicated, positive role model. That's what I want to be remembered.
Yeah, well, you definitely are all of those things, Ron. And I know Flagler County schools were extremely proud of you to receive this award. You are a role model for our students, our teachers, all of our stakeholders here. And I'm just glad I've had the opportunity to spend this time with you and to award you with the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. And we look forward to when the voting starts November 1st. And we're going to get our community behind you. And it's an exciting time for Flagler County schools and our community.
Actually, gentlemen, the is open now.
Okay. Even better.
So can we review just a little bit? There's 9 personality traits. If you tell our audience what those are, and what prompted you to nominate Mr. Ron?
Well, one of the biggest things when I came into this position from being an assistant principal for over 15 years. So my career started in Flagler schools as a teacher. I went through become a dean, athletic director, and the current an assistant principal, and now currently director of custodial services. And along each one of those steps, one of the most important people that you get to know is your custodian. When I was a teacher, it was that custodian that cleaned my classroom. I always made sure to have a relationship with them. When I became a dean or an athletic director, it was very critical that I had a good relationship with my custodians to get gyms ready, to get clean up after events. And the same thing, of course, as an assistant principal. The thing that's so striking about Ron in this position, I've always said to my two supervisors, if we needed a person to train a site coordinator how to be a site coordinator, it's Mr. Ron. He does an excellent job. It's one of his great characteristics. He has a strong knowledge of custodial duties, cleaning techniques. He's obviously very highly self-motivated. He brings a positive attitude. We dealt with a lot of issues during COVID. And even short staff, Ron always made it a point to prioritize what needed to get accomplished. So it's constantly, for him, it's always, to me, what I witness is going above and beyond, what that job description says.
And how did you find out about the nomination process?
It was actually Dave Freeman, who's our plant services supervisor. He had shared the site for me, and I kind of researched it a little bit. And, Ron clearly came to mind for us. And from that point, I submitted the required information, and here we are today.
So, folks, there are 8 finalists that are in the running right now. They're looking for your vote in your community. As you've listened to these two gentlemen talk, I think you can't help but be inspired by their message. There are 9 personality traits for being nominated in the Rock Star Custodian program. This is not a popularity contest. These gentlemen are not involved with this for a monetary reward. This is for recognition of what you've heard this afternoon. The Rock Star program is in its 3rd year. We are very honored, gentlemen, Ron and Ken, to have worked with you today and to, promote you, Ron, as a finalist. Good luck in the voting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
We are powered by Gym Supply. They are out of Central Florida, 4 locations. We are so happy to be powered by them, giving us the ability to have this podcast, to have the Rockstar program. If you want to learn more about it and you want to, join in on the voting, go to rockstarcustodian.com. You can read all about all the other finalists, but scroll right on down. They're on alphabetical order. Scroll down to Mr. Ron Crowley and vote today. Anybody can vote for anybody. So if, in fact, you've already voted, don't forget, right after we get through with the finalists, we'll be opening up the nominations for 2022. Gentlemen, any parting words of why people should vote for Mr. Ron Crowley?
Well, I'll jump right in there. And it's kind of just what we've talked about. I think the biggest thing for Ron is besides, what he does to make sure that school is clean and safe. To me, it's the impact he's had on student successes at Buddy Taylor. He is truly value-based individual, and just the life lessons he teaches to students. And you heard him talk about how students come back and they recognize him in their community. It's such great honor to know someone of Ron's integrity. So for me, that's the biggest connection, is his connection with students. That's what we do this for every day. And Ron is definitely a huge part of that at Buddy Taylor.
Ron, I have a particular question for you.
Okay.
This is probably going to come out of right field, but hey, get ready to catch the ball, my friend.
Yes, sir.
As you said, you've been there 27 years. I just celebrated 50 years this year in the cleaning industry, so I can talk the language with you. What is on your personal bucket list once you leave Buddy Taylor?
I want to go around and start mentoring. Go around and helping the kids. And I just want to mentor and just be a positive role model.
Folks, there couldn't be a better reason to vote today. Spread the word, get your community involved, and vote for Ron Crowley today. Gentlemen, it's been nice having you on the show this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing those votes roll in.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.